Welcome to the second episode of the Kenny in the Corner podcast, where you don't have to worry about being in the corner. Today I am joined by my good friend Jake Spragg.
Hello.
Say hi, Jake.
Hello.
Hello, Jake. How are you?
I'm good, you?
I'm good, thanks. So, Jake and I are huge fans of horror movies and love to talk about horror movies a lot, which is what we're going to be doing today. So, tell me, Jake, are you up for a little interview before we begin this podcast?
I am, indeed.
Okay. So, what's your favourite horror movie, Jake?
I don't really have a favourite horror movie, but if I had to pick, it would probably be Conjuring 2.
Okay, so what is your favourite type of horror movies?
I like all kind of horror movies. Personally, I do like slasher movies because they're like pretty fun to watch, and I'm more like watching gore than watching like a scary film that makes me jump.
Yeah.
Mm.
I really like slashers too.
Yeah.
Who's your favourite final girl?
I was gonna say I don't really know. There's a lot out there, but probably Ripley from the Alien franchise, because seeing her character develop and stuff like that, she becomes a badass.
She does.
So yeah.
That's a good option.
Mhm.
Who's your favourite horror movie villain?
Oh, someone iconic, probably Jason or Freddy Krueger's pretty good. Round there, I'm not too sure. I'd have to say, yeah. I'm not good ones out there.
What's your favourite era of horror movies?
Probably from the 80s, because in the 80s you had a lot of classic slasher horror movies. So you had a lot of Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street, and you had a lot of Halloween. So that was pretty fun to watch. And,
that was fun.
Yeah.
Do you subscribe to the theory that horror movies contribute to violence and people committing crimes? Do you believe horror movies are responsible in any way?
Personally, I think that it can, but it really depends how you take the horror film, because you could be this looks fun, you could see Jason Voorhees cuts this woman's head off and think, this is pretty fun, I might do it. But then the point is to watch the film and think this is something you can't do, but it's pretty fun to watch, fantasy kind of stuff. Yeah.
So we're gonna properly get into this episode.
Okay.
Jake, are
Yes.
you excited for any horror movies coming out soon?
Yeah, I am. I'm excited for a few. So we've got quite a lot. So we've got A Quiet Place 2, which looks really good, and I'm excited to see that. But I think Conjuring 3, that trailer came out recently, and I'm really excited to watch that. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm really excited for Halloween Kills.
Yeah, that looks good.
That looks real good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Scream 5 as well.
Yes. I'm very excited for Scream 5. That looks good.
Yeah.
Though I will say, they've just called it Scream, even though it's Scream 5.
I
which is
would
weird.
have preferred it to call it Scream 5 would have been better than just being because obviously in the first Halloween movie it was called Halloween, but then they made the what is it called, spin-off kind of prequel to that film, the newer one, the 2018 one. They just called it Halloween again. I thought that was a bit pointless.
Yeah, it's like a sequel reboot.
Yeah, I found that a bit pointless. They should have called it something else. They've got this one coming out called Halloween Kills, and I'm yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I'm very excited for the horror movies that are coming out soon. We're in for a treat.
Mm-hmm.
So Jake, you've expressed interest in being a director one day.
Correct, yep.
Would you ever want to direct a horror movie?
That's something that I would like to do, but it has to be done right, though, I think, because I would want to make something that's original, that no one's ever done before, because you do watch a lot of horror films, and it's they're good, but they're not, original. It's I've seen this before. I kind of would want to do something that no one has ever seen before.
Yeah.
But I would like to do a horror movie, so yeah, I'll do that.
I think you would actually do a pretty good job making a horror movie.
Yeah.
And I agree that horror movies are very recycled.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. That's why I don't really find them scary anymore.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think a lot of people do find them scary. Like, you watch them for the enjoyment now, not to be
Yeah.
scared.
Yeah. So, moving on, the people watching this won't know this, but we actually made a short horror film together as a project for college a few months ago. You played the villain.
Yeah, we made 2, didn't we? I swear.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, I did.
And how was that as an experience?
Yeah, that was good. Well, you know how I feel about that filming, but yeah, it was alright. I preferred to film Murder in the Office.
Me too. Murder in the Office, because that was like a prototype to what we ended up making.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah,
and that was much more fun.
It was. I think you were the better villain though.
I mean, I think I was entertaining as a villain, but I think you was better because I don't know. I feel like you just pulled it off way better.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
But yeah, that was after doing Murder in the Office. We did
Knifed, was it?
Yeah,
That's
Knifed.
What it was called? Yeah. Knifed.
And that was very difficult.
Yeah, very difficult to film. Yeah.
Yeah. I really enjoyed working with you on that project.
Same. I did as well. Yeah, it was fun.
It was fun. So I've asked about your favourite horror movie, but I want to know what's your least favourite horror movie?
Probably my least favourite horror movie would have to be. There's some I've seen that I'm just like, I'm not scared, but then I'm not enjoyed watching it. I'm just like, why am I watching this? I think it'd have to be like something like one of the Chainsaw Massacres, Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Mm-hmm.
I watched one of them a while back and was just like, this isn't good. You know, like, why did they make this a film? It's just like, so stupid to me, but you know, I don't know.
Yeah, a lot of the Texas Chainsaw Massacres, they're not really good. The first one's good.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, how many times do you want to see a man with a chainsaw killing people? It's just like, and the plot is just like not good. It feels very weak, but yeah.
So, back in like the 70s, 80s and 90s, horror movies were just kind of a thing that were being pushed out like one after another. Like that was the era of horror movies. There was a lot. And obviously there was the early 2000s horror, which for the most part wasn't really good. And we've had horror movies coming out, you know, ever since then. But we haven't really had it where it was like how it was in the, you know, the 80s to the 90s.
Right.
Do you think we'll ever go back to a time where we're getting horror movies regularly, or?
I don't think so. I think because when they noticed the chain that they could make loads of horror movies, I still think they'll do it to this day because it's like anything to get money, you know. It's like if it keeps making money, they'll keep making it. Like, we've had so many Sharknadoes, you know, to this day, and they're so bad, and it's like they're not going to stop because there's always going to be the audience there who are going to want to watch those films. So I'm not too sure. I don't think they will personally, but I will be surprised if they do go back to that time.
Oh, I refuse to watch the Sharknado movies. Those are I've never seen them. I've just seen clips and I think, what the hell?
So I watched the first one and then I was like, they made a second one and it's like, why? What's the point? Okay, sharks are in a tornado and they're flying out, but it's like they look so bad and they look so like crap. It's just so funny though. I don't know.
But yeah, I think I'll stay away from the Sharknado films.
Yeah, I would agree.
Oh, so is there a type of horror movie genre or whatever that you avoid?
I don't think so. Like, there are definitely horror movies that I refuse to watch. Not because they scare me or anything, just because I don't like them. Or like I haven't seen, you know. I watched a really good horror movie over the weekend, so that was good.
What was that?
So it was called Hereditary on Netflix.
Oh, I've heard of that. I haven't seen it though.
Yeah, you should. It's very messed up. Very messed up film. That was very good, and I enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah. Isn't it like a demonic possession sort of thing?
Kind of, yeah, but like that was how they did it was very good, and I enjoyed that. I would recommend you watch that.
Yeah. Back to the type of horror movies that you avoid. So you can't really find any that you can like a genre or whatever that you avoid.
Not to my knowledge. I mean, you do get the black and white horror films. I guess, alright, so I guess like some from the 40s, because they're just not good, in my opinion. People say like they're classics, but like, are they though? I mean, well, they are, but you know, they're not that good, in my opinion. I don't know, kind of like from there.
Yeah, I'd say that there is a type of horror movie that I tend to avoid, and that's the kind of, do you know those horror movies where it's like inbred cannibal?
Yeah.
family?
Yeah. That's kind of messed up.
I avoid that because just for the simple fact that like a lot of those movies will have some kind of there's usually in those movies a lot of sexual assault.
Yeah, I don't. Okay, there are some films that like scenes that they have like rape. I feel very uncomfortable watching them. You know.
Me too. It's very uncomfortable, very triggering. I don't like it, and I also don't like that the inbred cannibal movies.
Yeah.
They feature, you know, sexual assault and rape and stuff like that, and it's just very uncomfortable. But it also kind of paints the people who are, you know, because in these inbred cannibal movies, it's usually in Southern America, you know, and they're like hillbillies, and it's like, it's kind of makes me feel weird because it's kind of making fun of people who are like Southern and, you know, maybe poor.
Yeah.
Feels a bit
wrong. I get that. No. Yeah.
Before we wrap this interview up, is there anything you want to say?
No, just thank you for having me, and it's been a lot of fun.
Okay, thank you. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you for coming on my podcast.
Thank you. No, thank you.
It's been a pleasure. And stay safe.
Thank you. You too.
Bye.
Goodbye.